once it rains, people see that as opportunity to now go out and then dump their waste on waterways that the rains will carry them away. You never can tell where the waters will carry them to. They might be carried just to your doorstep, and then they will cause problem and wreak havoc on your building, and also cause untold hardship for you and your neighbors. So let's all team up to really address this situation. But that does not mean that government agencies should also fold their arms. Government agencies must be more alive to their responsibilities at this point in time. Waste management, collection and disposal must really be dealt with seriously at this point. This is not time to also go into rhetorics and then be paying lip service to things. We must be serious in dealing with those problems. Now, if you are also building, and you are building on waterways, just know that you are waiting for an avoidable calamity, and I do not know why you shouldn't avoid an avoidable calamity in any case. So, from the foregoing, you'll see that it's the duty of all to prevent this flooding. Remember, over 600 people died in 2022 in Nigeria to the devastating flooding. That's besides the thousands and millions of properties that got destroyed, and to talk about billions of money that were lost to the natural disaster that could have been avoidable to a large extent. So don't let a repeat of that happen this year. If it won't happen, it depends on you as a person. So let's do our best to avoid things like this. Now, still with the Daily Trust newspaper, governorship polls, INEC completes Beaver's reconfiguration, begins deployment. Of course, that's in preparation for Saturday election. Forex crisis, banks slash PTA BTA to $2,000. Review processing time to 120 days. Despite setbacks, Nigerians should be proud of 2023 elections. That's come from British Envoy. And still taking stories here, 12.9 million cyber attacks recorded during presidential poll. That's according to the Minister of the ICT, that's Bantami, telling us what's there. Obi's lawyers begin inspection of election materials. That's also reported on page 10 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Police declare Bochi rep wanted over murder. Page 6 of the Daily Trust newspaper has that story. Of course, let's just leave it at that. Investigations will be conducted, and then we would know what exactly is the situation. How I reclaimed my Kano Central mandate, Senator Rufai Hanga. Find that on page 3 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Okay, I think that does it on that newspaper. Let's move to the blueprint. What does blueprint has for us? INEC to parties on March 18 polls. Your supporters, agents must refrain from violence. Of course, that's the version you find there. We will be tough on major flashpoints. NSA, CP said. Operatives won't spare those bent on compromising the process. Nigeria's politics fascinating as bright future. That's according to British Envoy. Of course, if the British Envoy sees light and bright future ahead of you, yes, you must also see the same thing. Otherwise, you will not be proud of what you're doing. Well, many stories here we've taken from other newspapers, but let's check this. Man nabbed for defiling 10-year-old girl in Ondo. Very sad story there. But then, interesting that the man has been nabbed. And then, the annoying part is that I do not know what he saw in a 10-year-old. And whatever it is, when he gets to face the consequences, he would understand and be a lesson to others who are randy and they do not really know shame. It does not make any sense. February 25 polls. We have successfully blocked over 12 million cyber attacks that are coming from federal government. We took that earlier. What is different on the front page of this? Okay, some stories, of course, we've not taken from other newspapers. Lassa fever spreads to 22 states. Death toll hits 109. Well, it's not yet to Uru as far as Lassa fever is concerned. Don't expose your food anyhow. That's the message. 2023 Hajj. FCT board begins orientation for intending pilgrims. Banditry. 17 public schools closed in Shiroro. That's according to local government chair. NCC directs that's talking about the mobile phone companies to implement short codes. Of course, find details there. I wouldn't be the one mentioning it, so I'm not making advertisement for anyone. So let's see how punchy the Punch newspaper is this morning. The Punch newspaper also has its version of the stories who have been taken. Let's say the version of the Punch newspaper this morning. Dollar shortage, banks slash travel allowance, foreign school fees. Okay. Almost 13 million cyber attacks. Okay, that's the version of the Punch. Almost 13 million cyber attacks recorded during polls. That's coming from the federal government. And you also find the picture on the front page there, talking about the engagement of INEC chairman with critical stakeholders as Nigeria prepares for governorship and state assembly elections on Saturday. INEC will prosecute electoral offenders with speed. Yakubu. Well, this might be the most profound statement, my opinion as a Nigerian, the most profound statement from the INEC chairman since the commencement of this general election. But what is more, enough of telling us this and that will be done. Let that be a conclusive case, and then see if that won't be a deterrent to others who are just bent on disrupting the process and compromising the electoral arena of the Nigerian state. It's not enough to say you will prosecute electoral offenders with speed. Let us really see you doing that with speed, and not just doing it with speed, but also with appreciable level of success in bringing to book these people with nefarious activities on election days and in the electoral process. I think that's much more important than the promise. Review 1,000 Naira NIN fee. Council tells NIMSE. That's talking about the identity number. Page 9 of the Punch newspaper has that one. Or your SDP candidate. That's talking about governorship candidate. Or your SDP candidate withdraws. Backs Makinde. That's Makinde of the PDP. Find details on page 8 of the Punch newspaper. The New Telegraph newspaper should be an export of call. The New Telegraph newspaper also has its own version of those stories. Nothing really different, if you ask me. Okay, but then I think I'm seeing something here that might be a different ball game. Oil prices continue to crash over SVB shutdown. That's the Silicon Valley Bank. It's also affecting oil prices. Lagos Cuba, people promoting ethnic discord, not Lagosians. That's coming from LP. Warns PDP to stop winning its Kaduna candidate. Okay, politicking here and there you find. Benue attacks. Headers kill 10 in my local government every week. That's come from the chairman of the local government. Says polling units being relocated to safer areas for March 18 polls. If you ask anyone, one thing that many would really want to see quickly is an end to insurgency and all of the security challenges. And we just do hope that that would be the experience of Nigerians very, very soon. Let's check the sporting arena and see what exactly is happening there. Sporting Sun will be our guide from the sporting arena this morning. Man City moves to side Osimhen. Open talks with Nigerian striking sensation. Ayegbeni takes list of Everton's top 10 fastest PL goals. That's also in Sporting Sun arena there. Nkunku agrees $50 million deal with Chelsea. Don't be afraid, I won't leave you alone. Usyk tells Tyson Fury. These are many more you'll find on Sporting Sun of this morning. Alright, that does it on the newspaper review segment of AM Today this morning. We will take a break. When we return, We'll be taking closer look at critical issues having to do with development of the Nigerian state and, of course, also about the development of Ondo State. Please stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back.